Hey guys, Paul here, the Impulsive Culinarian, and in this video I want to talk to you about my gluten-free pasta Primavera recipe. So there's a little bit of controversy about this recipe. It seems that there was if I read right, a New York chef that was traveling to the Maritimes of Canada, Eastern Canada, all right, and decided to, while with some friends there, come up with a meal that had to do with fish, and it wasn't working. It really wasn't working out. They said, screw that, let's make a pasta recipe with some vegetables. And boom, this beautiful pasta primavera was born. So that's the rumor. That's where it comes from. There's still some debate about which chef came up with it first. Was it mine? Was it his? And anyway, that's the same with every recipe. So we're going to be making this suspiciously non-Italian, Italian-styled pasta primavera. You can make it with any noodles that you like. I prefer penne, so I'm going to be using a gluten-free penne noodle to accompany this dish as the main of this dish. You can use linguine, you can use macaroni noodles, doesn't really matter, as long as it's, gluten-free. I'm also going to be doing a dairy-free version of the sauce so that we can respect all of our allergen restrictions. And here are the ingredients that you're going to need. So get yourself 350 grams or so of gluten-free penne. You can use any type of pasta, guys, as long as it's gluten-free. I happen to prefer penne for this recipe. 1/4 cup of dairy-free margarine, 4 shallots that you're going to thinly slice, 8 cloves of garlic that you're going to thinly slice. It's almost an entire head of garlic, depending on where you're from. The sizes can vary. 1 carrot peeled and cut into matchstick-sized pieces. 1 bunch of asparagus trimmed and cut into 2-inch pieces, sort of like trying to match the matchstick size of your carrots. 12 cherry tomatoes cut in half. 1 cup of fresh peas, and guys, if it's early in the spring season like it is here and the fresh peas are not yet available, go for frozen. It's better than nothing. 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh oregano. 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh coriander. 1/2 cup of white wine, something you would drink. The juice of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon of good olive oil, 3 ounces of dairy-free white cheese, which you're going to finely grate, 1/2 tablespoon of kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper to taste. All the windows are open. Springtime's in full effect in the Impulsive Culinarian kitchen. Let's make some pasta primavera. Oh, you guys are a little taller than I remember you last time, right? So we're trying a different camera angle so we can see what's going on in the kitchen, on the counter, and on the stove. So guys, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare the gluten-free pasta according to the package instructions. It's different for every type, so you might as well do what they tell you. I like to heavily salt my pasta water, as salty as the sea, as they say. So, put in, oh my goodness, 2-3 tablespoons. All right, so while that pasta water is warming up, let's prep all of the other ingredients. 4 nice shallots. Let's slice them up nice and thin. So I definitely enjoy a good vegetarian dish that has garlic as a star. So almost an entire head of garlic. I would say 8 big cloves. So count them out. Let's get a carrot. Okay, matchstick cut, around 2 inches long. Oh, water's boiling. 12-minute pack in a pot. Okay, now some asparagus. So when I'm talking about a bunch of asparagus, they always come in around the standard size, little bundle. Now, this one happens to come in a cellophane pack. It's a pound, or, 400 grams, 400 to 450 grams. A bunch is basically what you're looking for. Exactly. So always be sure to give your asparagus a good rinse. Now, use one as your guinea pig and find the spot where that tough end just sort of snaps off. Now, I don't like to do each one of them that way because I find it's a waste of time. So I'm going to get all of them around the same distance from each other. Get a knife, chop off the ends. Now for the rest, I like to try and chop them around the same size as my carrot matchstick. So I'm probably going to make 2 cuts in this, 2 inches long. Okay, let's get a dozen cherry tomatoes. Now, in a few weeks from now, let's say a couple of months, these are going to be growing out of our garden. And even an indoor home garden, guys. Get a pot, grow a cherry tomato plant. In the meantime, Get them from the store. So there's another vegetable that I can't wait to have growing fresh out of our gardens. The first time we're trying it this year, peas and some snow peas. Anyway, if you don't have fresh, they're hard to find at the beginning of the season. Frozen it is. They're always handy in a pinch. Wow, I keep talking about all the stuff that is not yet growing in my garden. Fresh herbs, being part of that club. Fresh oregano and fresh coriander. A couple of tablespoons of each. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever really measured 2 tablespoons of fresh herbs. So a couple of bunches, right? It could be a quarter cup for all I know. But honestly, a good amount. It's all subjective. You can't go wrong with fresh herbs. This much. So when that pasta timer goes off, taste it, make sure that it really is cooked. These pastas, they stay on the shelf for a long time, so a couple of extra minutes is often required. So when it's done, you want to drain that off. And once it's drained, I like to rinse it off a little bit and transfer it into a bowl of cold water. That'll stop the cooking and it'll prevent it from sticking when I'm ready to use it later on in this dish. Chop up some herbs. Guys, we've got food prep momentum going here. Let's not stop. Let's juice a lemon. Come on. So just in case you didn't catch my weekly Wednesday update about this Chenin Blanc, here's a link. Dairy-free white cheese. All right, so this is not a product endorsement. Well, it kind of is, but I'm not getting paid for it, okay? So Daya makes a great, this is Monterey Jack style white cheese. It's a block cheese. This is a 7-ounce pack, 200 grams, so a little less than half. Let's grate it up. I think we're done prepping. Let's check it out. Guys, this is great. I love getting the prep done first. All of our ingredients chopped, cooked, cooling, grated, you name it. Done. Let's cook. All right, so the next step is to choose your skillet weapon. A large skillet like this one, perfect. Absolutely works fine. But if you've seen my other episodes, you know that I have a preference for this guy. It's a non-stick, kind of like a wok. I just love it. I've grown accustomed to using this pan for almost everything. So a large skillet will do the trick. But if you're kind of weird like me, get something like this. All right, so warm that skillet up over medium heat. So incidentally, this does not have to remain a vegetarian dish. You want to grill up a nice chicken breast or some shrimps and put that on top when you're done? Fantastic. That would be very tasty. But it's an amazing vegetarian springtime dish. So we're going to keep it vegetarian for now, but make it your own, guys. So on my channel, guys, I talk a lot about dairy-free margarine. I was thinking about this the other day. What the heck is dairy-free margarine? In our family, we have an aversion to soy. Okay, other than the gluten and the dairy, one thing I don't talk about a lot is that all of my recipes are soy-free. And again, not a product endorsement for money, just personal choice. Once you know what I'm using, Earth Balance makes this soy-free margarine. I mean, we can't have margarine because it's dairy. So a lot of the other products that are out there, they're all soy-based, or most of them are soy-based. And we found this, and the taste is fantastic. I know, if you're saying margarine, it's terrible. It's all kinds of things that people say about margarine. But I will tell you that as far as taste and bang for your buck goes, this is a mainstay for us. We use it all the time. There's ghee, there's other natural and products out there for sure. And if you've got something that you substitute regularly for butter, please use it. And put it in the comments and let me know what you actually use when you're cooking dairy-free. For us, this is the go-to, and until I find something better, a quarter cup of that is going into my hot skillet. Okay, so once your skillet is nice and hot, start off with the shallots, get those in the pan. So stir those occasionally, saute them for around 3 minutes until they're nice and soft. All right, so once those shallots are soft but not browning yet, that's when you want to get your sliced up garlic cloves into the skillet. All right, a minute or so with the garlic in there, that's plenty. Next, it's time for your matchstick carrots and your chopped up asparagus. So toss those together well and saute them for a few minutes until they start to get nice and soft. Okay, so 6 or 7 minutes into this next part of the saute, guys, you're going to notice that the carrots are starting to get a little bit tender. And try one of the pieces of asparagus. You'll feel like it's almost cooked. That's the perfect time to add in your tomatoes, your peas, and your fresh herbs. So adding frozen peas in there is certainly going to cool things down a bit. So the idea is to get everything back up to temperature. So stir this together really well so it's thoroughly combined and let it get back into this warm consistency throughout. That's when it's starting to really smell like a Primavera. Beautiful, wonderful, spring fresh aromas coming off that pan. Let's have a look. So guys, even though you're not more than halfway done, this dish looks spectacular, it smells great. These tomatoes are going to wilt a little tiny bit. The peas are going to heat up and heat through. This is going to be delicious. Next step. So guys, it won't take long for those peas and tomatoes to warm through. If you've used fresh peas, it's going to take even less time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But after 4 minutes with frozen peas, here's what you can expect. So it smells delicious, and you see how those tomatoes have just wilted and they're starting to get really soft, almost turning into a sauce. So that means it's time to add the pasta. Okay, so drain off that pasta that's been chilling in cold water. Drain it really well and get it into the skillet. Now carefully toss everything together until it's nice and combined. Smells fantastic. But let's help it along with, oh yes, some white wine. So give that wine around 3 minutes to reduce and warm up that pasta all the way through. Then it's going to be time to add your grated cheese, your lemon juice, and some good olive oil. When you're adding oil at the end, it's important to add something that tastes really good. None of that cheap stuff, because it's going to impact the flavor of the final dish. So try and find some good olive oil. Okay, in with the final ingredients. Now, of course, you want to season that with around ½ tablespoon of kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste. All right, stir it to combine. That's not good. That's frickin' spectacular. I snuck a bite. Yeah. Be proud to serve this. Trust me. So basically, the time that it takes you to carefully fold in all the ingredients, the cheese will have melted, the lemon juice and the white wine is going to have heated your concoction all the way through. Guys, this is a spectacular springtime dish. I really hope you try it. You will not be disappointed. Oh, wow. Once it's heated through, remove it from the heat, okay? You can smell that garlic, all of those fresh vegetables, the herbs, the white wine, lemon juice will drive you bananas. That is a great springtime recipe. So guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 5 of my 6 weeks of spring recipes. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss the last episode of the series, as well as all kinds of new stuff coming up in the weeks to follow. My name is Paul, the Impulsive Culinarian. I'd love it if you join me right here live from the Impulsive Culinarian kitchen every Wednesday night or Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where I open up a brand new bottle of something delicious. Join me live on Facebook and YouTube, and guys, I'll catch you in the next video.